example, an invitation letter for you to get your visa to come to Tanzania, we'll be responsible to send that to you as well. All you need is just an email to us and your ID, and you'll get the letter the same day. You can use that in your application for visa to Tanzania. This is the kind of support that we offer to all investors. Should you want to register your business, we have officials within our office that will help you register your business, get your tax registration, get your compliance as well when you're operating on day-to-day basis. Work permits, visas, residence permit, everything sorted in one particular place. And last month in September, we launched an electronic investment window, which means you can do all those processes that help you start your business from the comfort of your chair here in Hyderabad. These are the list of authorities and the services that you'll be able to get from our office. Again, it's a one-stop center where we expect anyone coming to invest in Tanzania should be able to get this support. We have zonal offices which are spread on 5 zones across the country, where our officers will be able to help you on day-to-day basis when you're doing your business. So should you need to renew your permits, renew your visas, pay your land rents and things like that, our officers will be there quite close to where your business is located anywhere across the country to help and support you. We are also responsible to help you find land to put your investment on. And some of that land could either be government, could be from private individual, could be from anyone that you have bought it from, either your partner in Dar es Salaam or any other place of our country. We'll help you with those transactions as well and make sure that you get your land rent sorted or your title deeds sorted. All of that is done under one-stop center. I think another important thing which I thought we would share with the community here in Hyderabad today is 3 reasons as to why Tanzania is the best investment destination in Africa at the moment. And this is anyone doing business all the way from Cape to Cairo. Tanzania is the shining spot at the moment. The first reason for that is quite high levels of profitability within the market. There are only 2 countries in the world where they have quite high levels of increase in manufacturing, but sort of a slightly slanted level of export growth, and that is Tanzania and India. And the reason is this: the income levels in India are going up, whereby your manufacturing is going up, but as well as the domestic consumption is taking a lot of what you're producing. And a similar phenomenon is happening in Tanzania, certainly not to the same scale that India is experiencing it at the moment. So what this is telling us when you're looking at those 2 data points is that the income levels within the country are quite high, and they are really improving in a way that domestic consumption in itself is creating an incentive for businesses to get into those areas. And we have several industries which are experiencing these fastest growth levels. The first one in Tanzania is fast-moving consumer goods, and this is based on the population there, 61 million people, as well as 400 million people across the region, and this is really becoming a sort of the demand pool for a lot of investment in manufacturing at the moment. The second one is building materials. So our cement, steel, gypsum, electric copper wires and things like that are going off the roofs. And these are some of the areas where we're experiencing a lot of a huge inward investment. The third sector is logistics, and the Port of Dar es Salaam, as you saw in the map, it serves 8 landlocked countries. So there are, I would say, 3 major ports on the western seaboard of the Indian Ocean. So you start with the port of Mombasa in Kenya, the port of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, and the port of Durban in South Africa. Those are the 3 major ports on the western seaboard of the Indian Ocean. And the transit trade there is also growing, being pulled by the growth within the region as well. We are seeing also quite good growth in sectors like healthcare because of, again, the population growth, income growth, as well as financial services, and this is banking as well as insurance. The levels of penetration are still quite low. There is quite good competition on the top end of the market, but the mid-table and the low end of the market is still quite virgin. The returns of investment that we are reading from the numbers are also quite good. Tanzania is one of the most profitable places to do business across the sectors as well. And the reason I'm saying across the sector is that as compared to a lot of other African countries that you might have interacted with, Tanzania is not quite concentrated in one particular crop. So for example, if you talk about Nigeria and Angola, you know, quite heavy on oil. You talk about Zambia, it's quite heavy on copper. You talk about DRC, it's quite heavy on extractives. But the Tanzanian economy is spread across a number of sectors. So for example, our top 3 forex earners would be one, transit trade, because of the logistics that we do with the 8 landlocked countries, so quite huge in transportation and so forth. But the second one would be tourism, somewhere between 1.5 to 2 million tourists a year. And our biggest selling points are the islands of Zanzibar, of which I think most of you are aware of. And then we have Mount Kilimanjaro, as well as some of the richest game reserves and national parks in the country, led by the Serengeti, as well as the Ngorongoro crater, you know, World Heritage Sites. So we have this sector, and this is only 2 of the 22 national parks that are in Tanzania. And the law in Tanzania allows for business people to establish hotels and tented camps within the national parks. So the growth as well in tourism, in terms of the experience from tourists as well, is really, really going up. And I think we have moved from about 1 million tourists before COVID to about 1.8, 1.9 million tourists as of this year. And we're seeing a lot of growth. So first, transit trade. Second, we have tourism. The third sector, we have extractives as well. We are the largest producer of gold in our region. The only competitors we have in Africa is South Africa and Ghana, which are completely different part of the continent. And most of the time, we're either number 2 or number 3 largest gold producers in Africa at the moment. We also have quite a number of a spread of minerals, including rare earth. Recently, we have secured close to $600 million from 3 Australian companies that have invested in extracting graphite as well as nickel. We have some deposit in lithium, coal, as well as iron ore in different parts of the country. So big, sizable sector. I think our third forex earner in the country. Then we have agriculture. 60 million people, about 30 to 40% of our population is heavy in agriculture, as well as being part of other sectors like livestock keeping, fishing, and so forth. So agriculture, mainstay of the economy. We export close to 200,000 metric tons of cashew alone to Kerala every year. That's about $300 to $400 million worth of trade in one particular crop. So we are big still in tobacco, in sisal, in things like cashew, coffee, tea, you name it. It's being produced in Tanzania. We are the largest producers of rice in our region, all the way from Sudan to South Africa. Tanzania, more than 1.5 to 1.7 million metric tons of rice every year. We are one of the most significant producers of maize as well in the region, vying to be the food basket of the Eastern African region. So that's sector number 4. And then sector number 5 is manufacturing, which is about 10 to 12% of our GDP. So the reason I'm telling you these numbers is that when you think about Tanzania, don't think about one opportunity or one crop. It's a very diverse economy, and the reason why we are doing well compared to our regional neighbors is that whenever there are shocks, including COVID, we are able to come out a bit better because of the spread of our economy. If someone is tourism heavy and then COVID hits, you don't have extractive, you don't have these other sectors that keep your economy afloat, and that is why we have managed to become a very stable and growth country. The other point which is important to make is our size. We are about 1 million square kilometers, 945,000 square kilometers. And the size of the country has required us, and the diversity of the country, over 120 tribes, over 26 regions, has required the country to invest quite heavily in connectivity. So over the last 20 years, 25 years, the government has invested quite heavily in roads, rural roads, highways, airports, as well as currently a 2,000 kilometer standard gauge railway that's cutting right in the middle of our country. And I'll show you a map a little bit after a few slides. And the point I'm making is, anyone can invest at any part of our country and be able to do business. We have sugar farms in the northern part of our country. We have, the Lake Victoria, which is, at the northern part of our country, where a lot of businesses are there in fisheries as well as mining. And the connectivity within the country is seamless. That helps lower the cost of production compared to the size of the land. And if you look at all metrics, which I'll also show a bit later, Tanzania has much lower cost of production in terms of power, transport, as well as human resources compared to our regional neighbors. So those are the three reasons that makes us a very unique and attractive investment destination. So this is the first stretch of 200 kilometers of a railway line that is currently being built by the government of Tanzania. It starts from the commercial capital called Dar es Salaam, and the first 200 kilometer stretch, the railway construction has been distributed into 5 lots. The first 200 kilometers is 97% complete. And what has happened in these first 200 kilometers is that a couple of industrial parks have started to emerge right next to the tracks. And the bet that these investors are making is that this railway connects to the port of Dar es Salaam. And the fact that Tanzania has preferential trade agreements with the US as well as with the European market, it makes it easy for a lot of countries that do not have those open markets access to set up in this industrial park, manufacture their products, put them on the trucks, on the port, and then ship them out there in the world. So 4 of them have already come up. The smallest one is about 1,000 hectares, and they're all right next to an industrial park. We have a colleague of ours here, Barry, can you kindly stand up? Barry operates the first investor on an industrial park called Sinotan, and he will speak about it a little bit later. I'll give him a few minutes to tell us about his venture. So anyone who is keen and exploring sort of a plug-and-play model where you sit right next to a dry port and the railway station, someone can come in, do your business, put in a container, off to the port and off out there in the world. This will be an interesting thing. So that is the island of Zanzibar, as I've showed. It's quite close to Dar es Salaam. It's about 15 minutes by flight and about an hour by a speedboat. So we have 3 levels of investors that we recognize. So anyone with the capital starting from $500,000 would be registered with our institution as an investor. That is a sort of a regular investor. We have a category of investors that we call special and special strategic investor, but these are anyone north of $50 million. Now, it is important to mention that the $500,000 could be a balance in a bank account, the value of the business that you already have in the country where you come from, or inventory and cost of machinery that you'll bring into our country. We have proof of that. We register you to become an investor within 24 hours, and you get your certificate of incentive that allows you to access some of the incentives that I'll talk about a bit later. But the category that I want you to take note of is the second and the third category. If the value of your investment over a certain period of time, whether 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, is over $50 million, investors have the ability to negotiate some additional incentives separate from the ones that we have listed in the next slide that I will show with the government of Tanzania. And this is something that investors get only in Tanzania and in no any other country in Africa. You go to Egypt, you go to any other country, you have a fixed set of incentives that you will get from government. Only in Tanzania, where you can say, I'm investing in EVs, and I expect to produce X amount of cars, and what I would request for my venture, and these are going to be the benefits for your country, and what I expect from my venture is to provide 2,000 jobs. And for it to work, I would kindly request to get 2% reduction on 1, 2, 3. I have experts that are coming into the country. I'd like a waiver on their visa fee, or I'd like a waiver on their work permits and things like that. These are specialized skills. Or I'm putting in a hospital where these capacities do not exist in Tanzania, and I'd like to bring in 20 doctors, 30 doctors of this particular quality to your country. These are additional incentives that the government of Tanzania will negotiate, sit down with you based on your business model and give you additional incentive. The best deal you can ever get in any country. So anyone thinking of bringing in big money into our country, know that the government of Tanzania is quite welcoming and appreciative and knows that every business is unique and we are able to tailor our support to suit your need. This is the list of some of the incentives that you will get when you invest in Tanzania. So on your capital goods, you get 0 taxes to bring your machineries and capital goods. But we have a list of what we call deemed capital goods, things that are considered capital goods based on what industry you are in. So for example, if I'm opening up a restaurant, a table is not a final commodity. A table for me is a capital good. I need to have the table before I open my restaurant. So what we have done is we have gone down and spoken to experts within the industries, and they have given us a very comprehensive list of deemed capital goods that are categorized for each sector. And in those deemed capital goods, you get 75% reduction on import duty. So you are in transportation, the hose of your truck, you get 75% reduction of import duty. You only pay 25%. But we also have VAT. The VAT rate in Tanzania is 18%. But for any TIC registered investor, you get VAT deferment. You have at least until 3 months to pay your VAT, which means you can bring in your trucks, you can start operating your business, and then once you start collecting your revenues, you can start paying your taxes, slowly negotiated between you and the taxman. That is the flexibility that investors are offered within our country. But then you have things like capital allowance. Anyone going into manufacturing of pharmaceutical, textiles, as well as leather products, our corporate tax rate is 30%. But if you go into those 3 industries, leather, textile, and pharmaceuticals, you get 33% reduction in corporate tax down to 20%. If you go into assembly, motor vehicles, EVs, fishing boats, and so forth, you get another 33% reduction in taxes down to 10%. That's the corporate tax that the government will tax you. And again, if you need specialized incentives based on the industry that you are in, and your capital is north of $50 million in the duration of your investment, you can negotiate that with the government of Tanzania, starting with our office. You come to us with your business plan, these are the things that you need. I and my team will be responsible to talk to you to figure it out. And then we will carry that request on your behalf to the Minister of Finance all the way to the cabinet. And once the cabinet approves, you get what we call a GN, a government notice. Once you get the government notice, that is as good as a holy book, which means even if I'm not in that office, it is a legally binding document where the government of Tanzania has guaranteed you to have this particular incentive for your project. So we also have flexibility in terms of bringing in experts for your factory or for your operations. We won't limit you in terms of who should be your CFO or CEO. That is a choice of an investor. But we also have unconditional transferability of funds, which means you can bring capital into the country and you can repatriate your capital out there in the world. It's also important to notice that we have an export processing zone scheme. And an export processing zone scheme means if 80% of whatever you produce is for export market, and this is export out of the 16 countries that we mentioned, which are common market of Eastern and Southern Africa, you can set up in an export processing zone and you'd get 10 years corporate tax free. So apart from these incentives that I've written here, if your market, 80% of your product is outside the East African community and the Southern African community, it's out there in the world, is here in India, is China, it's US and elsewhere, or Europe, you can set up in an export processing zone with 10 years corporate tax of 0. Thank you. My colleague Latifa has a few slides that she will share with you on specific industries that there are some opportunities on, and I wanted her to say a few words and then we will conclude. Please, Latifa.
Just a point of correction. Thank you so much, Madam Moderator, for narrating my biography. Just a point of correction. I served in Uganda as the Deputy High Commissioner, but not the High Commissioner. The High Commissioner to India is my first post as the Ambassador and High Commissioner. So I just want to make clarification on that. Namaste. I'm delighted to be here today, and I wish to express my sincere appreciation for having this opportunity to come to this beautiful city of Hyderabad. And this is my first time to be here since I arrived in India. I've had the opportunity to visit other places, but not Hyderabad. And coming to Hyderabad with such I'm trying to find the best word to describe it, such a delegation from the investment authorities, both in Tanzania mainland and Zanzibar, to promote investment. This is a good start of the relationship between the Hyderabad business community and the Tanzania High Commission in New Delhi. And I would like to welcome you all to New Delhi after this event is over. For those who will be interested to forge more collaboration in different areas, please come to New Delhi for further discussions and for any assistance which will be required. Our doors are open. I'll be giving you my cards so that when you need any assistance in any area, you'll be able to reach us easily. Equally, I want to take this opportunity to commend India for its successful G20 presidents and the remarkable summit under the theme of One Earth, One Family, One Future. This is the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is a very good spirit for India to think of others. Additionally, the inclusion of African Union as a permanent member of the G20 is a significant and progressive step that highlights the importance of African representation on the global stage. You may recall that we have just concluded a state visit to India of Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Her visit to India reflects Her Excellency's President Samia's personal commitment and that of the government of Tanzania in enhancing our historical friendship and bilateral cooperation. During the visit, many areas of cooperation were discussed, including strengthening of trade and investment ties. It is within the same spirit that we thought of having an extended discussion and promotion of business and investment opportunities available in Tanzania, and that we can share with our friends here in Hyderabad. Tanzania and India, we share a vibrant economic partnership in trade and investment. And this made India the third largest trading partner of Tanzania. Statistics shows that from 2017 to 2022, our bilateral trade volume has increased from $2.1 billion to $3.1 billion. And in terms of investment, Mr. Terry has explained it in details. I wouldn't want to go into that again. But Tanzania has many potentials for trade and investment in many sectors, as it has been elaborated during the presentations of all the sectors which have just concluded here. Taking an example, just an example of one sector, the pharmaceutical sector, which Mr. Terry explained a lot, but also a representative from MSD also explained in detail. We, Tanzania, import 8% of its medicines from outside the country. And out of that 8%, 60% comes from India. And you can see in this particular sector of pharmaceutical, Tanzania and India trade a lot. And this has already been explained in details. And we would encourage a lot of investors, interested investors in this sector. Mr. Terry has explained all the incentives the government has set aside for this. So you're most welcome. For those who are in the pharmaceutical sector, you are welcome to invest in Tanzania, and this will be a very huge added advantage. And you'll be able to get the market not only in Tanzania, but also in the surrounding neighboring countries of Tanzania, the SADC region, East African region, and others. Today, we have had and will have the opportunity more to interact more and connect with the key relevant people responsible for trade and investment. And here I mean the people from the Tanzania Investment Authority, Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority, the MSD people, the Industrial Park people, and the EPZA people. And I encourage you to make the most of it, to use them while they are here. It's a very rare opportunity to have most of them all together to come at one point in time. So we should consider this a very special case. But I was talking to Mr. Terry, telling him that we should do this more frequently, since we are focusing on India, our strategic partner. And as you have heard, when our president was here, one of the agreements we agreed between Tanzania and India is to elevate our cooperation into a strategic partnership. And with that, we take it higher to the highest level, and we value India as our strategic partner. So in that context, we would like also to elevate our investment area to a strategic investment partner from India. And having said that, you should use them to answer all your queries, all the information you need from them. This is the opportunity I would encourage you to use, so that when you go back home, you'll be able to sit down and decide which area you'll be interested to do business or investing in Tanzania. In concluding, much have been said with our people from Tanzania, even the desk officer, Latifa, Madam Latifa, she explained well in her presentation as well. So I wouldn't want to go much into the details of that. They've made my work easier. And with that, I would like to assure you of the Tanzanian government commitment to attract more business and investment from India. And I would just put more emphasis on saying that our President, Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, she's doing a lot to make sure that the country is opening up to bringing more investors. She has done a lot of changes in investment policies and other areas so that to make the investment procedures easier. So we welcome all the investors who are interested. The doors are open. You should come to Tanzania and invest in Tanzania. Tanzania is stable. Tanzania is peaceful. Tanzania's people are very warm, welcoming. And Tanzania and India, we are connected historically, and we have that deep-rooted connection between our two countries. Our technical team have said it all and explained well in detail, and I'm sure that by now you have a clear picture of what Tanzania is and the potentials it has to offer. And you are in a position now to decide which sector are you interested in, which sector are you planning for investment or for business purposes. And the door is open, as I said earlier. Welcome, most of you, welcome you all, and the door is open. And one aspect, I'm told the Hyderabad people are very rich. That's a compliment. Madam Halima, she explained well in her presentation about the tourism sector in Zanzibar. And I understand in India, wedding is one of the aspects that the family values most. And the way they prepare their wedding, it's in such an exclusive manner and very well entertaining. I've had the opportunity to attend some few weddings, so I know the flavor of it. And with that, I would like to encourage to use the opportunity to visit Zanzibar, not only for other purposes, but also for wedding. Go and do your weddings in Zanzibar. You'll be able to enjoy our culture, the culture of the coastal people of Zanzibar, the warm hospitality of Zanzibar, but you'll be also able to change the environment and have that feel of the African hospitality, African environment, and the attractive environment we have to offer in Zanzibar. We've got so many beautiful beaches, white sand beaches, clear water, and I don't know how to elaborate it, but you should go there physically. You'll be able to see for yourself, and you'll be able to enjoy. I'm sure after the hectic work, then you should relax and go to Zanzibar. And after that, you can also go to Ngorongoro and Serengeti, or you could start with Ngorongoro and Serengeti, enjoy the wildebeest migration, enjoying the big cats, enjoying all the beautiful scenery of the safaris, and then you go and relax in Zanzibar. With those few remarks, I would like to say thank you so much and welcome to Tanzania. Come and invest in Tanzania. Karibu sana. Dhanyavad. Namaste.
Tanzania is quite open to that business. It is a growing area, and Tanzania is signatories of the Paris Climate Agreement, we are committed to increasing our share of renewable energy. So policies are enabling for investment in renewable energy as well. So anyone who is interested in manufacturing components of things like solar panels and so forth, they are also qualified to the preferential treatments in terms of policies as we have outlined, either in an industrial park or as well as an open investment. The power situation in Tanzania is good and improving as well. We have a good energy mix. We have natural gas, which now provides somewhere between 40 to 50% of our energy needs. And that's much more stable compared to hydro, which fluctuates depending on rainfalls and so forth. But we also have alternative energies, including solar, geothermal, and we are developing now wind as also an alternative source of natural gas, source of energy. We have also a government off-taker that has very set prices for energy purchase, and there is also an open policy on independent power production as well. So anyone who is in that area, we're happy to connect you with the off-taker, a similar institution like our colleagues in the pharmaceutical industry as well. At the moment, we are investing about $7-8 billion in a 2 gigawatt hydropower dam, which will come online by the end of 2024. So the bet that we're also making is also continuing Tanzania to be one of the lowest destination of production in terms of power, which we already are at the moment compared to all the countries within the East African region. We have the lowest power tariff. Our official languages are two, which is Swahili, which is spoken across the country, as well as English. So anyone who is trained in Tanzania to up to a secondary education, they can speak and communicate quite well in English. We translate some of the videos that we showcase here because of the markets that we reach out, and we look forward to when we come back to India in our mission early next year, we'll have Hindi subtitles in our videos as well. We have also a sizable Indian diaspora in Tanzania, especially in Dar es Salaam. Most of them from here, Hyderabad, also other states like Kerala and Gujarat. And they are also quite a commercially active community and very well respected, not only in commerce, but also in religion and so forth. So whenever you come to Dar es Salaam, you will feel certainly at home. The food has a lot of touch from the community here in India. As well, when it comes to electronic vehicles and pharmaceutical, certainly it's an open market. We do not have restrictions in terms of imports of any products from India. So we welcome you to export your vehicles, EV vehicles, as well as pharmaceutical products to our country. The trick that I will give you is that if you take some SKD and assemble them in the country, you would certainly qualify in a different kind of tariff compared to importing a finished product. So don't mention that I told you that to my tax colleagues. But it's an opportunity for any manufacturer from India. With respect to mineral rights, as well as the deposits of minerals, we have a regime that allows individuals that do exploration to translate their exploration licenses to production and extraction. That is how it works. You have to start from exploration to extraction. And what the government has done is try to build capacity of local Tanzanian miners and firms, and it has created a policy that allows Tanzanians that have exploration licenses and some proven reserves to partner with foreigners in technical support agreements and to do extraction together. So you would have, should you wish to do exploration, you will be able to get an exploration license, which you can convert later into a mining license. But should you wish to start extraction today, we have a complete list, which we will share with you through your emails and WhatsApp, of licenses that are available at the moment, where you are open to negotiate to those license owners any kind of agreement and extract them jointly. And this could be anything from 99.9% Indian ownership to 0.1% of Tanzania to 50-50 to any kind of collaboration that would work for you. So the idea there is to encourage close collaboration, technical exchange from external parties, especially from India, to miners in our country. The size of the mining sector is huge and it's really growing. It's one of the areas that Tanzania had not developed quite a lot, and we are hearing and seeing a lot of interest into the sector at the moment. It's opening up, it's reforming, and certainly anyone looking into the mining sector, this is the right time to do it. We have about 1.9 billion estimated tons of coal reserves. At the moment, the proven reserves are about 500,000 metric tons. We have, I think, 4 or 5 operators who have large open pit mines, and our exports of coal has gone up 127% after the invasion of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So the demand is there, the reserves are there. I would encourage anyone keen into that sector to connect. We will connect you with our colleagues in the Mining Commission. They will give you all the list of the deposits that are there and connect you to individuals that you can partner with. And we have a state mining corporation which is also keen to find partners to work with. So the State Mining Corporation holds some licenses, and they're looking for joint ventures for anyone who is in these sectors. And this is not only in coal, but in a lot of other licenses as well. And for anyone who is keen in those areas, it gives you an assured partner that you have government as part of your business partner, and it gives you a comfort. Yes, we do have lithium deposits, but we also have a lot of deposits of other rare earth elements. So we have an ongoing extraction now of nickel in northern Tanzania, but we also have proven graphites, and there are 3 graphite licenses that have been granted to 3 Australian mining companies, north of $600 million over the last 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. So again, it's a sector that is opening up, and certainly the right time to be inquiring about it. And we're happy to connect you with the right partners and authorities to guide you through the whole process. We currently do not have a double taxation agreement with India, but as you are aware that we have registered, we have elevated our partnership to comprehensive strategic status, and once that comes up, and it certainly is coming up in these conversations, we'll take it up to competent authorities, our colleagues in finance, to make sure that it gets ironed out. But at the moment, we haven't heard any complaints so far to any investor who is working in Tanzania that they have had issues with taxation. And we have corporations, for example, like Airtel, Bank of Baroda, and many others that operate on both sides of the country, and they have not been hampered by any taxation agreement in their operation. On that note, may I kindly return the floor to you? Yes, please go ahead, sir.
How to get the synaptic details of the prospects which you are having at present. How to get the synaptic details of the individual minerals of your area.
Yes, we have it, and we will share with the organizers of this event, and then they can send that to you as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I have it also on my WhatsApp. If we exchange numbers, you send me a text, I'll send it to you directly today.
Okay, thank you.
Maximum utilization of the technology. Any further questions?
Entrepreneurs, manufacturers, business leaders. Thank you very much. आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद यहाँ पर आने के लिए. मैं 2-3 नाम जो इस इवेंट को बहुत सक्सेसफुल किया है, उसको लिए बिना नहीं धन्यवाद का अपना काम ख़त्म कर सकती हूँ। बहुत दिल से धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ KN कुमार जी का, IAS फ्रॉम दिस स्टेट who is serving to another state, Meghalaya. Thank you very much, sir, for your support, and all the members of his team. Thank you very much for being here with us in next हमारा नया जो जर्नी शुरू हो रहा है हैदराबाद और तंजानिया का, उसके वॉरियर्स बनने के लिए, उसके इन्वेस्टर्स बनने के लिए आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। रमेश अन्ना जो इस पूरे प्रोग्राम में आपने देखा होगा चैन से नहीं बैठ रहे हैं, वैसे ही चैन से नहीं बैठे जब इस प्रोग्राम को अरेंज करना था। मैं उनका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ। मेरे बड़े भाई और भाभी जो अभी पिछले कुछ दिनों ही मिले हैं, पहले ही मिले हैं, इस हैदराबाद की ये विशेषता है, मुझे किसी ने उनसे इंट्रोड्यूस किया था कि जब हैदराबाद जा रही हो तो उनसे मिल लेना। उनसे मिली हूँ, पहले दिन ही जब मैं उनके घर गई हूँ तो मुझे लगा मैं अपने घर आ गई हूँ, और दूसरे दिन जब उनके घर गई हूँ तो मेरा जो स्वागत हुआ था, नवरात्रे के दिन चल रहे थे अभी मार्च में, और जो प्यार और जो सम्मान मिला और जो बेटी को जिस तरह से विदा किया जाता है साड़ी देकर और सारा गोद भर के, वो उन्होंने किया था। मेरे नॉर्थ इंडिया में इसको एक बहुत बड़ा सम्मान मानते हैं। तो मूर्ति अन्ना एंड पद्मा जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। और मैं ये मानती हूँ कि केवल उनसे मिलकर जिस तरह का अनुभव हुआ था, आप सबके साथ भी उसी तरह का एक रिलेशन हम आगे बढ़ाएंगे। मैं बहुत सारे कंट्रीज़ को हेल्प करती रही हूँ तंजानिया को इंडिया में लाने के लिए, उसी तरह मैं चाहती हूँ कि हम हैदराबाद को, हैदराबाद के लोगों को, हैदराबाद के बिजनेस लीडर्स को वहाँ लेकर जाए जहाँ पर 100 के 400 बनते हैं। आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत दिल से, बहुत मन से आप सबको बहुत सारा शुक्रिया। और कहीं पर भी किसी भी तरह से किसी भी कंट्री में अगर मैं आपकी हेल्प कर पाऊँ तो उसके लिए मैं ज़रूर से आपके लिए मौजूद हूँ। आप सबके पास मेरा नंबर भी है, और अगर किसी के पास नहीं है तो हम अभी खाना खाने के दौरान में बातचीत कर सकते हैं और हम लोग कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं। हम बहुत सारा काम करेंगे, बहुत सारा बिजनेस करेंगे, आपको भी आगे बढ़ाएंगे और देश को भी आगे बढ़ाएंगे। तंजानिया एक बहुत अच्छा, इट इज़ लाइक इंडिया, द कल्चर इज़ लाइक इंडिया। सो और अपॉर्चुनिटी भी बहुत सारी है। दूसरा, हमारी सरकार का, भारत सरकार का जो टारगेट है, जिस तरह से अफ्रीका को उन्होंने एक टारगेट मिशन पे लिया है, 38% ऑफ द अफ्रीका, वॉट एवर इन्वेस्टिंग इन अफ्रीका, 38% is being done by government of India. So you can see how sincerely our government is looking at Africa. It's a huge market, huge continent, which is looking at Indians. They like Indians. The acceptability of Indian products is very high. So come and join the journey of making Honorable President of India's, President of Tanzania's target of making India as the strategic partner of development. So please join us. Thank you very much. And let's have dinner and network. They all are very, very positive and very sincere. All the officers who are here, very sincere. You can see the presentation they have made here. So network with them, gel up with them, exchange your cards and do the business. Thank you very much.
Dignitaries and present entrepreneurs. Just now I heard someone was asking about the EV, electronic vehicles. I just want to tell you that on end of this month, High Commission of India is organizing a big electronic vehicle show in Dar es Salaam. So after this, I will connect you with the High Commission of India's commercial manager so that you can communicate with them and participate there. Secondly, Her Excellency President of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, who has visited India from 9 to 8 to 11, she has started her tour with the word that India is an extended family of Tanzania. So we also, I am also investing in Tanzania. I am putting a sugar factory because I am from the sugar sector. And my project is first Indian investment in Tanzania after Honorable Modi ji's visit in July 2016. And Modi ji's visit was having a big significance because after that the relationship with Tanzania and India is growing very fast. Also, for Telangana, we are having a Tarangini Association as well as Telugu Association in Dar es Salaam. We are having all the type of food which we get in Hyderabad, and one of the big builders in Dar es Salaam is also from Hyderabad. So many people are there, and I really would like, if many people who would like to come, you are always welcome. Tanzania is a very safe country. And out of 55 nations in Africa continent, Tanzania is in top 5. That's it. If anything, I am here. If anything you like to know, you are always welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rekhaji. Thank you, Mama.
That we want. We are seeing all the good things that are happening here. We are seeing all the progress, all the energy, and we want the same in Tanzania. We are brothers and sisters. Our destinies are intertwined, they are together. Her Excellency, the President of Tanzania, was here in India from 8th to 11th to meet Her Excellency, the President of India and Right Honorable Prime Minister of India. And we want all the support, all the partnership, all the friendship we can get from you. And we are prioritizing this market, as I mentioned, and my colleagues and everyone in this room from Tanzania will be there to support you, to make sure that you come, do business, invest for the benefits of India and for the benefit of Tanzania. We welcome you to be part of the next growth story of India and Tanzania. Thank you very much for listening to us.
Well, right now, Her Excellency Baloji Anisa K. Mbega, High Commissioner of the United Republic of Tanzania to India with concurrent accreditation to Singapore, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Nepal. Her Excellency Mrs. Anisa Kapufi Mbega assumed in September 2021 the post of High Commissioner of United Republic of Tanzania to India with multiple accreditations to the Republic of Singapore, the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, the People's Republic of Bangladesh, and in the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal. She joined the Tanzanian Foreign Service in January 1999 and has served as the Tanzanian Foreign Affairs Ministry before being posted at the High Commission of the United Republic of Tanzania in Kampala, Uganda from 2011 until 2013. In 2013, she rejoined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation as Assistant Director, the post she held until the end of 2015. Mrs. Mbega was appointed in September 2015 to the rank of Ambassador and became Director in the Department of Diaspora and Engagement Opportunities in the Foreign Affairs Ministry, the post she held until her appointment as the High Commissioner to India. Ambassador Mbega has a Bachelor of Economics, BA Honours from the Aligarh Muslim University, India. She also holds a Master of Diplomacy and Trade from Monash University, Australia. She speaks fluently Swahili and English. Ma'am, may I please request you to come onto the stage and give us the keynote address. Welcome.
Yeah, I surprised actually. Most of your presentation subtitles are coming with Chinese. Yeah, my second point is I think you have mentioned about renewable energy, that is solar power is there. My company is involved in that setting up solar plants and windmills in India. So what is the RE policy, that renewable energy policy in Tanzania, and how we can invest? What is the power situation in Tanzania? What is the renewable energy demand is there in Tanzania? That would be the few questions, but it wouldn't be sufficient. If some answers are coming, then I would like to send my business team to your people, so that actually they will get more information, and then we will take it forward. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Your question has been noted. The request has been addressed and acknowledged. May I have any other questions?
Telangana State.
Welcome, sir.
I really appreciate the presentations made by Her Excellency Ambassador Balozi Anisa Membega and her team. I think the main points I would like to just highlight in their presentations would be the mineral rights. I mean, I am from the mining sector. So I think the mineral registration framework of India and erstwhile India, not now. Earlier, before 2015, we had the applications filed for getting the lease granted. So similar process is prevailing in Tanzania, as I believe in that. So the latest version of the act is from 2010, Mining Act is there, and 2017 it got corrected. And the mineral rights are really rights owners is empowered through legislation of getting land clearances and other things. And 100% shares of this company is also owned by the foreigner. Is it right, ma'am? I mean, can I take that as...
Juliet, sir, do you want to clarify? Yeah, you could. Okay.
And one more thing is, I think there are two good points, that is India and Tanzania government having a bilateral treaty agreement on taxes. That is one. And the other one is India and Tanzania agreed to do trading with rupee and Tanzanian shillings. I think that's one good connect and bond between the Tanzanian government and Indian government. We definitely have a lot of opportunities in India and Tanzania for mining sector. So whom should we contact for this particular area of mining licenses to be obtained in Tanzania? That is one. So at one point, contact for mining sector would really have us in place to get the mining leases granted for either for public sector or private sector companies.
Right.
And there is one friend of mine and also director of operations from Singareni Collieries. He is a public sector company.
Right.
And he would also have some questions to be asked to invest in Tanzania. Thank you.
Sure.
Industries Limited. We are the manufacturers of electronic two-wheelers in India and indigenously manufacturing from chassis to motor, and everything. So any chances to export the EV two-wheelers, and also we are the producer of pharmaceutical products with Indian GMP as per the Schedule M. These two questions from me. Thank you.
So, sir.
Good evening, one and all. Myself, Gulfaroz Jawad Ahmed. I'm from GTDC Precious Metals and Real Estate Holding from Dubai, and also a holding person in Telangana State. I would just like to elaborate my questions according to sir, as he represented him as director of Telangana. Sorry, sir, I forgot your name. I'm also
Sushil
into
Kumar, sir.
Sushil Kumar.
Sushil Kumar ji.
Sushil Kumar ji. I'm also into steam coal. So I just want to ask some queries with the commission from Tanzania group, that I'm a steel coal producer from Jakarta and East Kalimantan from Indonesia. So I just want to inquire, sorry, what are the requirements for Tanzanian government from my part? So that is my question. And more commodities, like I am also importer of olive from Tanzania group. And thank you very much. I would like to appreciate Her Excellency. Her presence was really auspicious in Hyderabad, and she presented very well about the Hyderabad, and she also directed us as rich people of Hyderabad. So we meant very much good. Thank you very much, madam. I would like to get this about my question, a query, and a good way form. Thank you very much.
Thank
everyone.
you, Javed Ahmadji. Thank you so much.
From Hyderabad, there is huge opportunity. There is no discrimination in terms of imports. And you are welcome to access the whole 400 million people market within the East African community. One thing I'd like to also bring to your attention, Tanzania has a very rich natural wealth in terms of forest, products, spices, and so forth, which are also quite key ingredients for some of these cosmetic products. So I also invite you to source not only cloves from places like Zanzibar or coconut, but a lot of natural ingredients that would go into many cosmetic products from Tanzania as well. There is also a question about opportunities for doctors in Tanzania. We have a lot of doctors from India, as in any other place worldwide where India is leading in terms of providing healthcare. We welcome doctors in all fields, especially those that are quite rare in Africa. The demand in specialized treatment and specialized skills is quite open, and we also support all investors in healthcare to get permits for their doctors to come and work in Tanzania. That is an area that you will not find. You will not find any doctor wishing to work in Tanzania and not being able to work there. We certainly need.
Further now, amongst all the wonderful and respected investors that we have in the room today, I would like to make a special reference to Mr. Satish Purandare, the MD of Purandare Group, the presence of BRV Sushil Kumarji, who is the Director of Telangana State. I may also request you to acknowledge the presence of NVK Srinivas Garu, who is the Director of Singareni Collieries. Bonam Ramesh Garu is present here, who is from South Africa, Cloud4 SA. We also have Gulfarosh Javed Ahmadji, who is the Managing Director of Unibro. Last but not the least, we have Dasari Balaya Garu, who is the Regional Passport Officer from Government of India. We welcome you all, sir. And yes, moving ahead, we have our felicitation ceremony. May I now request Mrs. N.V. Padmavati Garu and Mr. N.V.S.S. Murthy Garu to please come onto the stage, who are the Managing Directors of SP International Garment Exporters. Please come onto the stage. May I also request Mr. Ramesh Garu, who is the Chairman of Human Rights Commission Telangana, to please come onto the stage. We will begin with our felicitation ceremony right now. Ramesh Garu.